What's up, everybody? Chad here for yet another Taco Tuesday, and as you can see, we are here in my garage, and the reason that I have one of the Carhartt seat covers missing is because I have just recently washed them and I'm putting them back on the truck. So, talking about these seat covers after almost a year, I'm very, very impressed with them. And after washing them, they haven't lost any color or anything whatsoever, and they went back on just fine and still seem to have the elasticity to stretch back over the seats. Now, over this entire year, I haven't gotten any major stains or spills or anything on it, but it still has retained its water resistance, and the water still does bead off just like it did when it was brand new. So when I do get these put back on, we're going to go check out some news. Before I get started with this week's news, I do want to just go ahead and tell you all that this past weekend at Flagpole was a great time. We met a lot of fantastic people, some local ones and some that came far, and all in all we had a great time. The Land Cruiser got along very well. I won't tell you a whole lot about it because there is a video dedicated to the trip that will be going up later this week. So jumping right into some news, Jeep has announced pricing for the SRT Hellcat Trackhawk Grand Cherokee, and it will be starting at $85,900, a full $20,000 more than the previous SRT Grand Cherokee. So this Trackhawk, of course, you are getting the beefier Hellcat engine with 707 horsepower, and it can propel you from 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, and it is standard all-wheel drive. That is the only way you can get it. You will be getting a single-speed transfer case, and it will be your regular Jeep Select track, so you can have tow mode, sport mode, track mode, regular. Eco does not exist on this because why would you buy a Hellcat for Eco? And that's basically all I have so far for the Grand Cherokee. We might learn just a few more details about it, but all in all, it's just a Hellcat engine stuffed into a Grand Cherokee. So when it comes to Ford, there was recently another spy shot, several spy shots taken of a 2019 or 2020 Ford Ranger, and this time what they saw was a Ranger that could potentially be the Ranger Raptor that we are calling it for now. But what was a little different about this one is that, and this was never before seen, was some cladding on the undercarriage covering suspension components, which, like I said, has never really been seen before, but we are thinking that Ford is hiding some pretty beefy suspension components underneath to combat the Chevrolet Colorado ZR2 components that they are using underneath, which are already pretty beefy. And something else that Ford, the engineer that was driving the vehicle, he was kind of getting a little disappointed about was somebody, had been coming up close to it, the photographer who was sticking his camera underneath the vehicle and trying to get shots behind all this cladding of the suspension components. But the photographer has been quoted as saying that he heard what sounded like the turbo diesel that you will find in the Ford Transit, which is a 5-cylinder, which puts out a pretty decent amount of torque. So this kind of begs the question of, is Ford going to be kind of offering a diesel variant that is going to combat the ZR2, which I believe they will. I mean, why wouldn't Ford do that if they're going to be sticking something crazy in this mid-size off-road machine? They're going to kind of offer these different engines, that you're going to want to have in them. In addition to that, we are going to be seeing these engines and possibly, some different types of transmissions offered by the year 2020. We're not exactly sure what's going to be coming of them, but there are talks of the 10-speed being put in there, maybe a variant of an 8-speed that we have not quite seen put in one of those yet, but there is definitely more to come on this. Of of course, now that another week has gone by, there are more spy shots of the Jeep Wrangler JL that have hit the internet. And there was one particular shot that really caught my eye, and that was a red factory model from the side of a Jeep JL. And what this kind of showed us was that a lot of the rumors have been true, that you are getting a bit more of a sculpted and masculine design there on the side. It still looks very, very similar to the JK that's on the market right now, but if you do look that up, I found that particularly put up on Truck Trend, and if you want to go see that picture for yourself, that is definitely where you're going to see it, as well as other outlets on the internet. Now that I have kind of gotten more time to look into it, there is more information put out there for that Mazda engine that I was talking about last week that does not utilize a spark plug. I did misspeak. There will be a spark plug, but it's used only for timing, and that's ignition timing. So it can seamlessly switch between using that when it's necessary for timing, and it can switch to compression. Now, what this means, like I said, I'll reiterate from last week, there will be efficiency gains because you will not be using those sparks as much, and you will be able to get more of a clean burn. And it's just the most efficient use of an internal combustion engine when using gasoline versus diesel. Now, this will meet or exceed power and efficiency of these diesel engines and the current Mazda Skyactiv G engines. What Mazda is dubbing this is the Mazda Skyactiv X engine, which we will be more than likely seeing on the, I guess, beginning or maybe middle portions of 2019 with some new model vehicles, possibly some refreshes. So this is a very exciting time because it's a type of engine design that has been thought of for years but never actually has been implemented. That just about wraps up everything I have to talk about this week. If you all have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so below and hit that notification button so you get notified when we do post up videos. We post them up every Tuesday as well as on the weekends if we can. Thank you all very much for watching. Have a fantastic week, everybody.